shield issue that Senator Sharma was raising earlier, and specifically about some of the response from industry that seems to be proposing measures that would either restrict or discourage or slow consumer switching between funds, which I find incredibly frustrating. I mean, the idea that there's been a fraudulent market actor, there's potentially been inadequate oversight of that, but somehow the responsibility falls onto the consumer to have their experience slowed down. So can I ask whether industry has approached Treasury around measures that would restrict or discourage or slow consumer switching between funds?
A lot of, as you would expect, a lot of people have reached out with different ideas, and some have raised concerns. I think it's on the back of ASIC had put out some warnings back in, I think it was 2024, around high pressure sales tactics. And so there was concern that some consumers are suffering from high pressure sales tactics. And so different people have different ideas around what you could do to address that. And some stakeholders have suggested slowing things down. There's a range of options, as you can imagine, have been raised with us.
So has Treasury considered those options that would add steps or delays or additional requirements to the switching or the rollover process?
So obviously we listen to everyone's ideas and we take them on board, and that, as you would imagine, that's a natural process. But we're not at this stage advocating for anything. We're still, ASIC have got a lot of enforcement action underway, and so we are looking at how that's progressing and taking it on board a lot of the different ideas that different stakeholders have raised, both in industry, both in consumer groups.
Okay. So you are not yet at a stage where you have provided advice to the Assistant Treasurer on changing or moderating or slowing the superannuation switching process?
So we have certainly been providing advice to the Assistant Treasurer, and in our advice we do absolutely acknowledge the different views stakeholders have raised, different ideas stakeholders have raised, so that he's aware of what industry, what consumer advocates are raising with us.
But there hasn't been a Treasury recommendation one way or the other?
That would go to our advice to government.
Okay, so the advice to government has been provided, but it has essentially expressed the views of the broad views of industry as opposed to recommending a particular course of action.
We have provided advice to government, and we have, but obviously I'm not going to go into the nature of the advice we have provided to government. We have also advised government of the different views of stakeholders across the industry.
Okay. Can I ask about